In this video we will discuss the storyline of the Power Rangers film, which was released in 2017, for children in the 90s. Surely they are already familiar with this one superhero character. As we know, Power Rangers characters are synonymous with superheroes, which uses colorful costumes, such as red, blue, black, green, pink, and yellow. As well as in this film, we will see 5 high school teenagers, who were accidentally chosen to become Power Rangers. But before we get to the storyline, prepare snacks and sit in the most comfortable place. Without lingering any longer, let's just go straight to the storyline. Let's Sky. In ancient times, in the Cenozoic era, the power of super warriors known as Power Rangers, tasked with protecting life on Earth, and also Zeo Crystal, at that time a Green Ranger named Rita Repulsa, betrayed his comrades and planned to dominate the universe. A Red Ranger named Zardon survived Rita's attack, and hid 5 Power Rangers power coins, so that later the coins could find the right people to become Power Rangers, the next generation. Jordan then ordered his assistant named Alpha 5 to send Meteor, which could kill Rita. Not long after, a meteor from Alpha 5 finally came to kill Jordan, and Rita was thrown to the bottom of the open sea. 65 million years later, we were shown to a teenager named Jason Scott, who was stealing cows with his friend. The theft was immediately discovered by the police. Jason, who panicked, then immediately fled by driving his father's car. The car skidded at full speed, causing an accident and making Jason's leg injured quite badly. Due to his mischief, Jason finally kicked out of the school football club, and forced to be put in a detention class, where the class is a special class, which contains children who are very problematic, and also naughty. Apart from that, Jason's movements must also be monitored by the police, in several times in the future, so that Jason was forced to use a monitor on his ankle. In the detention class, Jason also met a nerdy boy named Billy Constant, who was being bullied by another child. Jason, who didn't like seeing that, immediately defended Billy and told the boy not to bother him anymore. Apart from Billy,
Jason also met another student, known as Kimberly Hart. After class, Billy thanked Jason, and offered to turn off the monitor on his ankle. Jason initially refused Billy's offer, because he didn't want to make trouble anymore, but because at home he was frustrated, hearing his parents who kept fighting. So Jason decided to go to Billy's house. With his intelligence, Billy managed to deactivate the monitor, which was at Jason's feet. After that, the two of them went to an old gold mine in their town. Billy was determined to finish his father's research, who is now deceased. Jason, who heard this, immediately left, because he really didn't want to get into trouble with the police. At the same mine, we were introduced to a teenager named Zach Taylor, who was relaxing, while seeing a girl named Trainee Kwan, who was practicing Kung Fu. When Jason was walking home, he accidentally met Kimberly, who was bathing in a lake at the same time. Billy, who managed to find the point he was looking for, then detonated explosives to break some rocks. It immediately attracted the attention of Jason, Kimberly, Zach, and also Trainee. The 5 of them finally gathered at the explosion site, and that's where they found a coin, of a different color. Each of them took the coin. Jason was red, Zach was black, Billy was blue, Kimberly was pink, while Train was yellow. Which showed that the 5 of them had been spotted. Quickly, the 5 of them got into the car, and immediately fled from there. Bottom of the cliff. At the same time, the fishermen who were sailing at that time accidentally found the body of a woman, who was Rita Repulsa. The next day, the 5 friends who were hit by a train yesterday suddenly woke up in their respective homes, healthy and fit. They all couldn't even remember clearly how did they get home safely. Besides that, they were all surprised, because they suddenly had superpowers. While at school, Billy, Jason, and Kimberly met to discuss the strangeness they experienced. They realized that all of this started with colored coins, which they took from the mine yesterday. When they arrived at the mine, the 3 of them met Zach and Trainee,
Of course they also experienced the same thing as Jason and the others. The trainees saw them trying to escape, by jumping from one cliff to another. Seeing this, Jason and the others were shocked and immediately chased the trainees. Billy, who was scared, was hesitant to follow their steps, but Jason tried to convince him. So Billy finally got up the courage to jump. At first Billy managed to jump over the abyss, but because he was so excited, he slipped and eventually fell to the bottom of the abyss. Under the ravine there is a lake, which leads to a hidden place. That's where they found a spaceship. After entering, they were immediately greeted by Alpha 5. Alpha 5 then introduced themselves, and directed them to stand on top footprint, once they occupy their respective positions. Jordan finally appeared. At this time he was trapped in a place called Mortingcrit, where it kept him alive, even though it was only on the monitor. After that Jordan explained about colored coins, and the history of Power Rangers to them. He believed that coins it chose them. That means the 5 of them are the chosen ones, who will become Power Rangers, the next generation. Not without reason. The 5 of them are destined to become Power Rangers, to protect Zeo Crystal, who is currently being targeted by Rita. If they fail then we'll take the Zeo Crystal, and use it to destroy life on Earth. Because they are all still teenagers, so they don't believe in Jorda's words, and think they just want to scare them. Before Jason goes, Jorda and begs him to convince the Rangers, who on the other hand, because Jason is a Red Rangers, which means their leader. On the other hand, Rita, who has managed to be free, is now starting to hunt for gold, to create a giant robot, which is called Galdar, because Galdar is made of gold, so Rita is trying to find as much gold as possible, in order to be able to create Galdar as soon as possible. Galdar will later become the main force, which will help Rita to find Zeo crystals, in order to collect a lot of gold. Rita is even willing to kill humans who try to block her. The killings are increasingly rife, making Jason and his friends finally decided to go back to see Jordan. Jordan and Alpha 5 greeted them with pleasure, before training as Power Rangers. Alpha 5 also asked everyone to go back up to Footprint, so they could get the Power Rangers armor. But because they kept failing, because of that they were forced to practice without using the Power Rangers armor. Jason, Billy, Zach, Kimberly and then train with against Rita's troop simulation, which is called White. At first they underestimated the training, because their opponent was just a simulation, but after trying the first practice they realized that White was not an easy enemy. Day after day the Rangers continued to train together. To increase their abilities, they also tried to get closer to each other, in order to get armor immediately, but many times they always fail. To entertain the Rangers, Alpha 5 shows a Zord to them. Zords are mech robots, which can only be controlled by the Rangers. Unfortunately for now, Alpha 5 feels the Rangers are still not ready to control their Zord. When the others leave, Zack is desperate to ride his Zord, because he thinks that he is very ready. That Zord too began to move uncontrollably, almost crashing into the other Rangers.
Where's Zack? Seriously?
Zack's behavior made Jason very angry, so they got into a fight. Billy, who tried to separate, spontaneously changed into Power Rangers. But when his friends admired this, his armor suddenly disappeared. Jason and the others asked Billy to did it again, but Billy himself didn't know how to do it, seeing the Rangers who kept failing to get armor.
Made Jordan feel doubtful about them. He decided to stop them, and thought of looking for other people who might be more deserving of becoming Power Rangers. Jason, who heard that, was getting annoyed with Jordan's nature. He felt Jordan and only used them, only for his own sake, where he wants to be free from Mortingcrit. At night, Jason and the others decided to camp at the mine site. They agreed to start to be more attached to each other. By sharing each other's life stories, they believed closeness it is between them that will get them the Power Rangers armor. Meanwhile, Rita also continues to move to take all the gold. Took all the gold in the jewelry store. Thanks to all the gold he stole, now his magic wand was starting to be perfect. At that time a policeman came and tried to stop Rita. But Rita instead awakened White to attack the police and destroy the gold shop. The next night, Rita came to attack the trainees and ordered him to take the Rangers to a pier. Long story short, the trainees managed to take the Rangers to a pier. Once there, Rita immediately attacked them and ensnared them all. After that, Rita forced the Rangers to tell where the Zeo crystal was, because she knew one of them actually already knew the location of the Zeo crystal. Unexpectedly, the person in question was Billy. With his intelligence, a few days ago Billy managed to find the location. Zeo crystal, which is under a donut shop called Krispy Kreme. Because of that, Rita forced Billy to tell the location and threatened to kill Zack if Billy kept silent. Billy, who did not want to lose Zack, was finally forced to say the current location of Zeo crystal. After knowing its location, Rita immediately killed Billy and freed the other 4 Rangers. The Rangers then took Billy's body to spaceship and asked Jordan to revive him. Jason begged Jordan and apologized because he had not been able to be a perfect leader. Unexpectedly, Jason's sincerity made Mortincrit finally active and provided an opportunity for Jordan to get out of Mortincrit, but surprisingly, and reappeared and said that only one of them could live again, and he also chose to sacrifice himself and gave his life a chance for Billy. Seeing Jordan's sacrifice made Jason feel guilty for having accused him, but at the same time, this also finally became a new spirit for the Rangers, so they could unite and stop Rita. They all then went up to the footprint and finally succeeded in turning into Power Rangers. After changing, they were immediately attacked by white troops, which were very numerous. Overwhelmed, the Rangers used their respective Zords to face the white troops. Elsewhere, Rita began to awaken Galdar to help her fight the Rangers.
Rita and Galdar walked towards the Zeo crystal, while continuing to destroy buildings in the city. Not long after, the Rangers and their respective Zords finally arrived.
Make sure it's safe. I'm headed straight for Goldar.
Surprise.
Galdar, who was very big, apparently managed to defeat all the Zord Power Rangers. Besides that, he also managed to find the location of the Zeo crystal.
That's incredible.
Oh my god.
When Galdar was about to take the Zeo crystal, all the Zord Power Rangers immediately lined up and protected the Zeo crystal. After trying their best, Galdar managed to defeat them all, and dropped all of them into the Zeo crystal hole. Unexpectedly, this turned out to make the 5 Zords finally unite, becoming a giant robots called Megazords. Seeing this, Rita didn't want to lose, and joined Galdar. Because of that, the battle between the 2 giant robots finally happened. At first, the Rangers had difficulty working together to move the Megazord, but in the end they managed to unite and defeat Galdar.
Nice one, Bill.
Rita, who still didn't give up, even challenged the Rangers to continue the fight alone, but instead she was pushed aside and knocked into outer space. As the savior of the Earth, the Power Rangers received praise from the residents, and they were called heroes. In the credits scene, Jason and his friends returned to school, and lived their own lives. One day the teacher announced that they had a new student named Tommy Oliver, but at that time Tommy was not even seen in class, and only left his green jacket. How did Tommy find the green coin and replace Rita as the Green Ranger? Everything will be answered in the second Power Rangers movie. If there is. Yes, guys, for now there isn't any. Or maybe it hasn't been released yet. So that's it guys, the whole Power Rangers storyline for today here. I hope everyone is healthy and see you soon.